What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. I was perfectly fine letting Doctor Who go off into the sunset. I never had really a connection to it beyond watching Gary and Drinker and Mahler and Az all talk about it. So I have feelings about it only because I know how they felt about it, and I've seen their emotional roller coaster of just seeing it degrade to the point where it broke all of them watching David Tennant being transplaned to, and then by Dick generation, and then just go off. Yeah, so they're all done. But what's going on now is this is pure parody. This is laugh, and I have to get into it now just because this is for the memes, if nothing else. And well, let's start with this. And no, this isn't Hocus Pocus 2 or whatever. This is the new villain played by Jinxx Monsoon, who's from RuPaul's Drag Race. This is Maestro. This Gary posted this clip. This from his twat. So let's see this. Yeah, that's your daddy. So trust me, there's more to go into. I just thought that sometimes seeing it is way better than just hearing it. And okay, so that was from Gary, and this is on Twitter. So this is a whole thing. And then we here, let me close that. So that's Disney's Doctor Who, R.I.P. And we get into things like this. I don't know if you've ever seen this before, but straight white males, this movie is not for you. And then literally a couple months later, why didn't straight white males see this movie? Why are they refusing to see this movie? And I put this here because you think they would have learned from this shit, but nope. So here's from Metro UK. Sorry, straight white men. Doctor Who was never made for you. Which, by the way, how the fuck Doctor Who was never made for straight white women? Most of them have been played and were straight white men. I know he's an alien from Gallifrey, but still, you know my point. That count doesn't exist anymore. As of just an hour ago, Gary posted this. Yeah, Metro UK went from sorry, straight white men, Doctor Who was never made for you to not existing anymore. And it just had the exact same energy as that is from Charlie's Angels back in the day. So they don't learn. And speaking of not learning, and this is again to the reaction, because then I actually want to go to some of the words from this person themselves. Doctor Who's newest villain might drive some away, some viewers, that is. Good riddance. And well, that worked, because here's the 2024 episode ratings, and not looking good. It's their lowest of, because I had to look for this. It's the lowest in all of the history of Doctor Who. So I guess they listened when they said, if you don't like my politics, don't buy my books. Why are comic shops closing? Same shit. The same shit. So here's, like I said, Doctor Who star Jinxx Monsoon unpacks Maestro. Maybe this person's just great and we're all overreacting. Let's see what they have to say in their own words. But first, it shows, let's introduce little house cleaning here. Doctor Who's Ncuti Gatwa just faced off against the franchise's wackiest, most over-the-top villain yet. And that was before they started singing. Enter RuPaul's Drag Race superstar Jinxx Monsoon as Maestro. Yeah, so get back that. Maestro is larger than life. What was your first reaction to reading about them in the script? It's one of those once-in-a-show kind of characters. Maestro feels to me in the same realm as the genie in Aladdin, and just exists entirely on their plane, entirely antagonistic. They can reference anything they want. They can break the fourth wall. To be trusted with such a character, I still don't know what I did. You were, I don't know, whatever we're classifying a cross-dresser, trans adjacent in a 2024 ideologically possessed year. They're doing this only because of that, not because the character needed to be made or exist or is great. It's so enjoy it, I guess. I still don't know what I did. I don't remember selling my soul to the devil. Oh boy, you probably did. But it sure feels like I did. Jesus, that's oddly on point. I still don't know what I did. I don't remember selling my soul to the devil, but it sure feels like it. Okay, oddly self-aware. Was the devil's chords playing when you accepted the role? No, thank God. It was all very gentle and friendly. They were probably in... Anyway, it was a polite chat amongst friends. Showrunner Russell T. Davies is just one of the nicest... Pillow talk. One of the nicest and loveliest people I know. As far as writers go, he's one of my favorite. All of his writing is so prolific and important. I know we're talking Doctor Who, but anyone who has not... Yeah, okay. Maestro's episode is anchored around Ruby's desire to see the Beatles recording in 1963. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to get to the meat of here. Back to Maestro. The Doctor who never hides is terrified of them. When you first signed on, did you realize the scope of how big this villain is in the overall Doctor Who universe and just how fearsome they are? I had a bit of an idea. The closer we got, and as soon as I was on set, I understood that this character is a piece of something larger, and that was very exciting. I'm a comedic actor, but if I'm going to play a villain, I'm going to play a monster. Jesus Christ, you are giving them fuel. Look, I've tried to be, I'm not going to make everyone as a demon that sold their souls and they're all horrible and possessed, but I also don't want to see this shit on mainstream and dealing with kids and all that. Keep cross-dressing in the fucking clubs where it belonged, or to weird dudes that have autogynephilia off the fucking internet or on OnlyFans. It's normalization is grooming. That's why it's weird. But like, this is oddly on point of saying it feels like you sold your soul to the devil. And if you're going to play a villain, you're going to play a monster. By the way, I support that. Yeah, if you're going to play a villain, play a villain. But it's just oddly on point and self-aware. I want to achieve being threatening in some way. I'm glad that we were. You sure scare a lot of people, especially women in their bathrooms when you walk in there. I love an actor who can turn on a dime and make you laugh one moment and scare you shitless the next. See, this is the thing. Me too. That sounds nice. Shame that you couldn't have been used in a better way instead of having a character made just to piss off and get rid of fans. It's what I always try to get across to all these DEI initiatives, to the actual people that they're hiring, be it whether they don't have merit or they just took this as their chance. It is a disservice to you, because then you get used in a way and in roles that are not fully developed. Now, maybe this is the exception. I don't know. Russell T Davies certainly seems to be putting his money where his mouth is, but I don't think he's doing this for the longevity and love of the show, even if he creates a full realized character with this. But most of the times you get sloppy seconds, you get shitty characters that are there just to be stereotypes. So it's like, you got to hold out for the quality, not just get it because it was like, oh, you're a crossdresser? Go ahead. Oh, you're indigenous and you're deaf and you're missing a leg? Go be Echo. Huh? Yeah. Who were your inspirations for Maestro? God, this is another one so on point. I didn't have to do any Disney villain research because that's just ingrained in me as a drag queen and queer person. I didn't have to do any Disney villain research because that's just ingrained in me as a drag queen and queer person. Okay, now, on its surface, it would sound like they're saying that just being a drag queen and a queer person means villainry is ingrained in them. But the only way I know how to answer this also is because Leslie Headland from Acolyte, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, she constantly talks about how the Disney villains are all queer coded. It's a whole nother subject of why they read that into it. But like Ursula, the octopus bitch from Under the Sea, everyone thinks she's like a lesbian, Little Mermaid. So yeah, maybe that's what they mean. They see themselves in the villains because the villains are apparently all isolated queer people. That's my reading of it. Maybe I'm wrong. You let me know in the comments. But I will say, being a fair weather fan of Doctor Who, I have seen enough episodes to know the aesthetic, acting style, and level we're playing at. I turned to Michelle Gomez as Mistress. I turned to her for so many character inspirations. She's one of my favorite actors, and I think she's a great example of Doctor Who, of a Doctor Who villain who toes that line between the heightened, stylized, most Shakespearean elements of Doctor Who, but is also very truthful, genuinely scary, and just a very effective villain. It's very interesting that Russell T Davies would change the Master, or whatever, the Dalek Master guy, from being in a wheelchair because he didn't want people to associate people being in wheelchairs with villainry. So he just changed him into a generic white dude that walks around, but then would allow a crossdresser who is currently being demonized in our culture for good or ill. They don't have a great, it's very interesting that this is the one you would come out and play a pure villain. I am actually struggling to find of what the line of what he thinks is associating what with what. Ncuti Gatwa's new Doctor has unfortunately faced a barrage of racist, homophobic backlash to his casting. Sure, that's why they were upset. Do you have a message for those online trolls? I used to try to find diplomatic ways to talk about this, and now truly how I feel is, who gives a fuck what bigots think, and ironically, they are the bigoted and zealotry. And if you don't think they're bigoted and zealotry, tell them that you don't care for pronouns and you don't care about their sexuality, and then see how upset they get. A more optimistic way, an idealistic way of looking at this is the popular opinion is not on there. So, no, unfortunately, based on ratings, voting, and everything else, the popular opinion is on our side. You guys are just way more vocal about it. That's sort of what needs to change. You guys need to be told to shut the fuck up again. Sorry, it just needs to go back to being a niche thing. You want to be a crossdresser? Congratulations. Go to the fucking club on 4th and whatever. It's a fake street name. You know what I'm saying? Just go to the fucking crossdressing club. Go to Hamburger Mary's. There you go. Everyone knows there's several Hamburger Mary's. It's like a tranny cross-dressing hamburger chain. You go there. You go to the club. You do your thing. You get your little niche movies every once in a while, like Birdcage. Really good, by the way. Robin Williams, Nathan Lane. Check it out. But my point is, it's never going to be mainstream, and no amount of pushing it mainstream will make it so. And if you need further proof of that, just look at those fucking ratings for the episodes. Okay? So, that being said, it's so funny that they are a very loud group, and they're growing louder as they grow smaller. No, bro. You are the loud group that's ironically growing smaller. More and more, you're being rejected. Everyone is watching television shows from 10 years ago. All of the games that have this pushed are failing. The comics that had this are done. They're failing. Your ratings are shit. Whoa, bro, cognitive dissonance is fucking real. We literally live in two different realities. About to find out real quick when it goes from being virtual to real. Wait till keep touching grass, touch grass. We'll wait till we're both standing on that same grass, then we'll see how real reality is for you. We'll see who has the popular opinions peacefully in Minecraft. With every way they lash out in this way, the conservative right has decided to, of course, because everyone is right to their extreme leftism, the conservative right has decided to take an all-out war against trans people, queer people, not trans people, just anyone trying to make trans kids, those people, queer people and people of color. Again, gay people of color have existed forever. They've been in movies and TV shows forever. Go watch movies from the 80s and 90s and early 2000s. You will see what a revisionist history they have tried to make so, as if there was only white people, only straight white people ever in movies before DEI initiatives. So, yeah, it's cope. Numbers are not shrinking. Yes, they are. For every transphobic, racist, bigoted Doctor Who fan that we lose this season, there are going to be 3 to 5 new fans who are coming in for the representation. Wrong. A decade of proving this is wrong. Every single franchise, every single comic, every single game you have tried this on has failed. Point to one that has succeeded, that has ousted its original bigoted, mostly white, straight male fan base and has replaced it with a brand new mythical audience of equity, 50-50, everyone is queer, and of some nefarious melanation color. Like what? It's a fucking alternate reality they live in. And don't let the door hit you on the way out. Well, looks like they didn't. I'm assuming these overnight ratings will continue to drop. Let me know what you think of this. If you're still here at the end, make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're going to do that, thank you. And bye-bye.
Well, bye.